The Deadheads are doing the dance of life. And this, I would say, is the answer to the atom bomb. Photographer Erik Kabik has shot well over 1,000 concerts. Along the way, he has developed a unique style that captures the raw emotions of both performers and fans.
I look for the moments in the music that press my buttons and look for the emotion in the musicians and try to capture that. And, you know, it's a lot different when you're shooting a pop show and it's all about the visual display, you know, the dance moves, the hair flipping, the costumes, you know, that's really fun to shoot and I love all that spectacle. But to get into the interior moment of a musician and capture some emotion of the thing that we're all connecting with in the music is a really different thing that I'm interested in doing and that I look for.
For Erik, it all started with the Grateful Dead. As a college student, he convinced the band's longtime publicist, Dennis McNally, to let him shoot from the photographer's pit.
I went with a group of friends when I was very young. I was 14 years old, and I was really into the metal scene at that time. And the Grateful Dead seemed as far away from that as anything, and it wasn't of interest to me. But once I was there at a show, I just saw something I'd never seen before taking place. And it was people interacting with music in such a deep, emotional way that I found it was attractive to me. And then it made me stop and listen closer to the music. And then the music just kind of consumed me and took me over from there, and it was everything. But I think they kind of worked together. So there was what they call shakedown at shows, which is a vending area on the parking lots. And I was there for the tail end of it when it was real loose, when people could sell t-shirts that they made or food or clothing or photos. And I would develop photos from the previous show and take them out on the lot. And my girlfriend and I would set up a little vending area and sell our photos and maybe some juice if we pick some up, or burritos or whatever we could at the time, and to make a few extra dollars. And I trade the photos around.
Grateful Dead shows became a place where he could find connection and raise his consciousness.
Portion of my years on Dead Tour, I'd say from 93 to 95, I was spinning at every show pretty much from the beginning of the show to the end of the show. We'd set up out in the hallway where we had lots of room, and you'd see a group of 50 people or so, maybe more, maybe less, but everybody basically spinning. At one point, you stop feeling like you're spinning. You feel like you're standing still, and you kind of just leave your body and get lost. And then the song ends, and you kind of feel yourself rush back down into your body, and you just kind of fall to the floor for a moment to gather yourself, because it's such an intense experience to put your body into that situation. It's kind of pushing yourself, and it was a really interesting practice, I would say, to go to shows and see them as these 3-hour meditation or yoga sessions is how I looked at it.
As Erik shot more shows as a professional, he started to see the universal power of music to unite people.
You know, I used to just kind of see it through my own prism as a Deadhead and think, well, you know, our Dead shows are somehow these sacred spaces and we're all feeling this and religious experience that you're having. But when I go to other music festivals, I realize, oh, people are doing the same thing we're doing, just through different channels, through different music. The intentions might be different, but they have that same experience. They're still reaching that level of ecstasy and connection, and they want to connect with other human beings, and the music is the way to do that. It's much more than the music. It's people connecting with each other and feeling for that hour of that set, or hours of those musical sets, that there are no more barriers during that, because we're all connected through this vibration and through this music and these lyrics. And it's a great space to be in for that amount of time. And hopefully the more people do it, the more they can take that energy out into the world around them. Those younger people there were having that same experience through their music, and that they also created this community that was based on mutual respect and peace, love, unity, respect, plur. We never verbalized it that way in the Grateful Dead community, but it was the same idea, that all are welcome, and when you're here, we are all brothers and sisters, and everybody's going to take care of each other and look out for each other for the most part. We're all together and experiencing this incredible vibration together, and you're going, wow, this is true. This is the truth. This thing we're feeling right now together is actually truth. Like, this is what's real. This is the one thing that we know is real. All the other stuff we're trying to figure out in our day-to-day lives is a little confusing, and to navigate through it all is kind of confusing. But this thing here is true. All the stuff going on in the government and all the conflicts around the world and all the wars and all that stuff, all that noise, we can't quite navigate it or figure it out, but at least when we're all here, we know that this is a real thing that we can all connect with.
And this, I would say, is the answer to the atom bomb.